I want to welcome everyone to the 2018 Lawrence County Market Goat Show. Entering the ring for Class 1 is Mackenzie Kleiber, Peyton Hill, Evan Clark, and Olivia Bowman. Judge, this is your class. Our judge today is Creed Garriott. He operates out of Scottsburg, Indiana, where he owns and manages Garrett Ranch. Creed currently runs a 300-head club goat operation, where with the aid of an extensive embryo transfer program and online sale platform successfully markets anywhere from 3 to 400 head of wethers, bucks, and does, an average per year to juniors and stockmen across the country. Please welcome our judge today. Class 2 to the holding area. All exhibitors, please remember to stay for the final drive. Our sponsors today are Robert Burcham and Family, Wade's Work and Western Wear, Fuller Goat, Show Goats, Ranch Hands 4-H Club, Scottstown Farmer and Farmerettes, AAA, Heating and Cooling, Proctorville Hardware and Feed, Daniel's Show Goats, and Starlight 4-H Club.
Nice class of 4 wethers coming into your first class here. This guy that starts out the first class, big muscle, really big top, square loin, lots of muscle. Doesn't want to show himself off today for this kid, but when you get on top of him and you handle him, he's really got a lot of stretch and really crisp over that loin. Compositionally right, especially for this age and where we are today at this county fair. I'd like to see him balance up a little bit better. Maybe walk off a little better off those back two, but definitely a lot of muscle and the most muscle in the class, and definitely comes to the top in that aspect. This wether that comes in the second is a tick more balanced and wants to show himself off a little better. But when you get over top of this guy and start handling him, I don't think he has as much muscle as that guy that comes in that first place. But definitely a wether with a lot of structural integrity and a lot of quality. These last 2 wethers that finish off this class, this brown and paint wether that comes in, is just getting a little tick narrow up front and going away from you. Wants to get a little narrow at the base. Probably not as much muscle as those top 2 in the class, but one that's long body, good looking. Definitely one that still has a lot of quality. This one that comes in and wants to come into 4th for us today. Wants to get a little bit narrow as he gets down towards the ground and narrow up front. Still one with some muscle and some look. Nice class of wethers. Put your hands together for that set of wethers.
Entering the ring now for Class 2, Christian Gilbert, Dean Clark, Kaylee Payne, Madison Harper, and Evan Clark. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 1. In 4th place, Olivia Bowman. In 3rd place, Peyton Hill. In 2nd place, Mackenzie Kleiber. And in 1st place, Evan Clark.
small class with a lot of quality. This one that starts out the class is really big in his hip, really round rib, big in his touch. This one strides out really cool looking. I like this one a lot when he gets on the move and whenever, especially when he gets braced, you get over top of him. One that's definitely got a lot of quality. I'm going to start the class off with this red weather that comes out second with the small white sock there. Really long and cool looking and up-fronted. Just wish he had a little more touch. Really sound and really strides out there and gets. And whenever he walks out there, really looks cool. Looks cool on that stick, but one that doesn't have enough power today to edge his way up. This red doe here in third, deep-bodied, a little shorter. Still a lot of muscle and some quality. I just like to see that one with just a touch more stretch and a touch better looking. This weather that comes next wants to get a little flatter sided for me, but still has plenty of expression. And that weather with the horns in the back that comes out in that fifth place has a lot of expression, but probably doesn't get into wide enough for me, especially when he tracks away and comes at you.
Entering the ring now for Class 3, Allison Kleiber, Kaylee Payne, Jorg Butler, Peyton Hill, and Gunnar Daniels. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 2. In 5th place, Christian Gilbert. In 4th place, Madison Harper. In 3rd place, Kaylee Payne. In 2nd place, Dean Clark. And in 1st place, Evan Clark. Class 4 to the holding area.
Really big back weather that comes out in first here with a lot of quality. This guy's got a lot of stretch, runs uphill. One that I like a lot and definitely has lots of traits of good livestock. That one's really sound and really cool to look at and definitely impressive when you get over top of him. This is the deepest set of the day for sure. This weather that comes out in second probably needs a couple more days on feed. That guy's really square hips and cool to look at. I'd like to see him with a little bit more touch today compared to that first place weather. Now that the weather with the spot on his back definitely still runs uphill and still has a lot of quality, but I don't think he's as thick and doesn't have as much power as that one that comes in first. I'd like to see him travel out a little bit better on those back wheels as well. This feigning goat mix that comes out here in third definitely impresses you when you get over the top of him. But I'd like to see that guy with a little bit more substance of bone. I'd like to see him walk out a little bit better and maybe just balance up a little bit better from that side. But still one with a lot of quality and definitely very interesting to look at. We get down to these two others coming down here that just need a few more days on feed, need to have a little bit more expression and stouten up just a tick more for today.
In the ring from Class 1, Evan Clark, tag 772. From Class 2, Evan Clark, tag 774. And from Class 3, Gunnar Daniels, tag 757. Now entering the ring from Class 1, Mackenzie Kleiber, tag 751. From Class 2, Dean Clark, tag 731. And Kaylee Payne from Class 3, tag 723. All third place needs to come to the holding area.
We got here to select our Grand and Reserve Division 1. We got our lightweights, medium weights, and these heavyweights out here for this Division 1. I'll start talking about this heavyweight class here. Definitely deepest set of the day. Ones that definitely have a lot of livestock quality to them. They're sound, they're good looking, they're balanced. These medium weight drive here, those goats were a little deeper body, a little different kinds, a lot of muscle, still sound. Those lightweight goats might not be showing themselves the best, but definitely have a lot of quality and a lot of muscle. I'm going to go out here and I'll select down 10 places, I guess, in this Division 1. But there are 2 out here I don't think we can separate out of class. And I'll put this mic down and go out there and shake their hands and then continue to pick these animals. But definitely a really cool set of Division 1 goats here, and I'm excited to see the rest of the day.
Kleiber to the ring. Division 1 champion Gunnar Daniels. Peyton Hill to the ring. Tag 702. Division 1 Reserve Champion Kaylee Payne. Division 1 third place Evan Clark, tag 774. Now entering the ring, Kaylee Payne, tag 722. Division 1, place for Evan Clark, tag 772. Peyton Hill, tag 701 to the ring. Olivia Bowman tags 712 to the ring. Fifth place, Allison Kleiber, tag 765. Madison Harper, tag 708 to the ring. George Butler to the ring. Ninth place, Peyton Hill. Tenth place, Madison Harper. Division 1, 10th place, Madison Harper, tag 708. 9th place, Peyton Hill, tag 702. 8th place, Kaylee Payne, tag 722. 7th place, Allison Kleiber, tag 765. 6th place, Dean Clark, tag 731. 5th place, Mackenzie Kleiber, tag 751. 4th place, Evan Clark, tag 772. 3rd place, Evan Clark, tag 774. Second place, Kaylee Payne, tag 723. And in first place, Gunnar Daniels, tag 757. Entering the ring now, Allison Kleiber, tag 766. Kayla Bridgie, tag 721. Haley Literal, tag 750. Garrett Daniels, tag 759. Jaden Goslin, tag 740. Kristen Dome, tag 754. And Mackenzie Kleiber, tag 752. Class 5 to the holding area. The Lawrence County Cattlemen's is raffling a 4570 Henry rifle. Proceeds will go to scholarships and various awards.
High quality set of weathers coming out here for your first class of your second division. This cape weather that leads off this class is really heavy muscled and sound. You know, that one's pretty complete and good looking, and you really can't get much better than that in this class. He definitely finds his way to the top real quick for me. This weather that comes out in second is a real interesting piece. You know, he's really square loined and big backed. You know, I'd like to see him a little sounder on the move and maybe a little more balance in that underline. Maybe a tick better in that hip compared to our first place goat, but still one that has a lot of quality and is still really good looking. This goat that comes out in third is one when he walks into class, you think that one's going to really impress me, and that one's really going to move up in the class real quick. And he does that on the move, and he does that when you're looking at him, but whenever you get over top of him and you handle him, he wants to get a little softer about his composition. but still one that's really big boned and good looking. One that definitely deserves that third place hole. This fourth place goat that comes out is really heavy structured and good looking and big topped, but I'd like to see him a little more balanced and a little more tucked up in that gut and a little more rear leg on that one. Let's balance that one up, and I think he moves up pretty quick. This spot back weather that comes out next is really good looking and sound, but I'd like to stouten that one up and tighten his structure up. As we come down these other goats, I'd like to see him a few more days on feed, maybe a few structure issues, but still a really high quality set that'll definitely go to the rail and have some product.
Now entering the ring for Class 5, Shayna Leffingwell, tag 719. Sophie Moots, tag 776. Hunter Clark, tag 730. Hunter Kearns, tag 770. And Mary Back, tag 744. Results from Class 4. In 7th place, Kirsten Dome. In 6th place, Jaden Goslin. In 5th place, Caleb Ritchie. In 4th place, Allison Kleiber. In 3rd place, Mackenzie Kleiber. In 2nd place, Haley Littoral. And in 1st place, Garrett Daniels. Class 6 to the holding area.
Really cool paint doe that comes out to lead this class off. This one's really designed quite neat throughout her whole body and skeletal structure. Really big topped and cool looking. Really balanced in her underline and real trendy. That one comes to the top of that class real quickly for me. The fighting decision here is in 2nd and 3rd place. And this second goat, probably doesn't follow my class winner as well as what I would like for it to. Because that guy's carrying a little bit more water weight, it looks like, in his belly area there. But I think we suck that thing up. That thing's going to get a little more balanced. He's definitely the biggest topped one out of these 2nd and 3rd pair here. But I think that one definitely deserves that 2nd place hole, and I think he balances up really well from the side if we suck that belly off. This goat that comes in 3rd, compositionally I think is really cool. That one really handles well. I'd like to see him a little better in that hip loin, and I'd like to drop his underline a tick and make him maybe just a little bit better off those rear two, but still one with a lot of quality. This goat that comes into this 4th place hole here is real stout structure, but I'd like to tighten that structure up in terms of his shoulders and in terms of his hip, but one that still has a lot of quality. And this goat that ends the class out is really good looking, but I like to see a little more expression and a little more tone, especially when we get to touching that one.
Now entering the ring for Class 6, Lacey McSweeney, tag 703. Gunnar Daniels, tag 764. Bailey Fuller, tag 733. Daniel Moots, tag 775. And Dylan Back, tag 746. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 5. In 5th place, Shayna Leffingwell. In 4th place, Sophie Moots. In 3rd place, Hunter Clark. In 2nd place, Hunter Kearns. And in 1st place, Mary Back. Class 7 to the holding area.
One that's really sound and still has a lot of muscle to lead this class off with. Definitely comes to the top pretty quick. That one's pretty hard to beat, especially in this class. I can't wait to see that one back out here for this Division II drive, but one that definitely has a lot of quality and one I can't wait to see again. This goat that comes in a second, long, stretched out. That one's got a lot of structure and a lot of quality to him. But I'd like to see him a little stouter in terms of his loin edge and in terms of coming out of his rack there. One that I don't think bulks up as much as that first weather and probably isn't as sound on the move as well. But still one that definitely has a lot of quality. This third place goes to the power goat of the class that definitely leads out with a lot of base width. That guy's really terminal. I'd like to stretch him out a little bit and probably put his pieces together a little better, but still one that has a lot of quality. This paint goat that comes out next is really cool designed, really cool to look at, but one that doesn't touch and handle as well as some of the ones above him. This goat that rounds out the class just needs a few more days on feed. That one needs to tone up a little bit and come back out here and look a little cooler looking. He gets a little more common looking for me today.
Now entering the ring for Class 7, Gianna Pemberton, Class 710. Griffin Fuller, tag 735. Kirsten Dome, tag 753. Shayna Leffingwell, tag 718. Kara Wilson, tag 739. And Micah Matney, tag 747. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 6. In 5th place, Lacey McSweeney. In 4th place, Daniel Moots. In 3rd place, Gunnar Daniels. In 2nd place, Bailey Fuller. And in 1st place, Dylan Back.
You guys gonna clap louder than that or what? That's better. The weather that leads out this class is definitely the stoutest and best put together throughout this whole class. I mean, he's really cool coming out of that shoulder, really big-butted and sound. Sure, that goat doesn't want to show the best for this young lady today, but that doesn't take away from his quality. That one definitely finds his way up there pretty quick for me. This second place goat, he gets a little frailer about his skeleton and wants to get a little weaker about that rack shape and in terms of his loin coming to his hip loin. But that one's still really cool looking and still has a lot of expression. Still like that weather a lot, just like to lift him up maybe a tick in that hip and give him a little more expression and make him stouter structure today. This goat that comes out in third is really deceiving. You get over top of this goat and he's really cool handling. He's really big racked. He's really big loined. I just like to see him a little tighter structure today and a little cooler looking. This goat that wants to come out next is really sound and really fluid in his movement, but I'd like to see a touch more expression and to be a little compositionally more right today. These two other goats that come down in this class just need a little bit more time on feed. Maybe this last one might need another band on there, but still a nice set of weathers that definitely have a lot of prospect potential as well.
Now entering the ring from Class 4, Garrett Daniels, tag 759. From Class 5, Mary Back, tag 744. From Class 6, Dylan Back, tag 746. And from Class 7, Gianna Pemberton, tag 710. All third place class winners from Division II to the holding area. From Class 4, Haley Literal, tag 750. Hunter Kearns from Class 5, tag 770. From Class 6, Bailey Fuller, tag 733. And from Class 7, Griffin Fuller, tag 735. Results from Class 7. In 6th place, Kirsten Dome, tag 753. In 5th place, Micah Matney, tag 747. In 4th place, Shayna Leffingwell, tag 718. In 3rd place, Kara Wilson, tag 739. In 2nd place, Griffin Fuller, tag 735. In 1st place, Gianna Pemberton, tag 710.
Really high set of weathers here in our Division II. Definitely a fun division to sort, especially out here in our Grand Drive. But as we come into these weathers, there's 3 out here that really excel to me, and one of them, of course, is a doe. That's the paint. We've got this weatherling in down here that was our lighter weight weather, and I'd like to talk about him for a minute. That one is really cool from the profile, handles pretty well. I'd like to see him a little touch better in that hip loin, and he wants to get a little buck knee today. And I think with a little more time on feed, that one's really going to compete a lot heavier with these other goats that are out here. But one it's really nice and still really competitive, but probably doesn't edge his way into this top trio here. But these top 3 goats out of these 3 classes are really cool and really heavy structured and really big boned, and they're definitely got a lot of quality to them. But I think there's 2 out here that just excel in balance, and in terms of how heavy structured they are and how much muscle they have, wrapped around with how good looking they are. And I'm going to put this mic down. I'll go out here and select your Grand and Reserve, and then I'll select 8 more places down. But there's definitely a lot of really good goats out here, and definitely put your hands together for this set of kids. They definitely did a very good job with these goats.
Grand champion for Division II is Dylan Back. Gunnar Daniels, tag 764 to the ring. Reserve champion for Division II is Gianna Pemberton. Kara Wilson, tag 739 to the ring. Third place, Mary Back. Hunter Clark, tag 730 to the ring. Fourth place, Garrett Daniels. Mackenzie Clyburn, tag 752 to the ring. 5th place, Haley Literal. Allison Kleiber tagged 766 to the ring. Sixth place, Bailey Fuller. Daniel Moots tagged 775 to the ring. Seventh place, Griffin Fuller. Shayna Leffingwell tagged 718 to the ring. Eighth place, Gunnar Daniels. Lacey McSweeney tagged 703 to the ring. Ninth place, Daniel Moots. Tenth place, Hunter Kearns. Division 2 results. In 10th place, Hunter Kearns tagged 770. In 9th place, Daniel Moose tagged 775. In 8th place, Gunnar Daniels tagged 764. In 7th place, Griffin Fuller tagged 735. In 6th place, Bailey Fuller tagged 733. In 5th place, Haley Literal tagged 750. In 4th place, Garrett Daniels tagged 759. In 3rd place, Mary Back tagged 744. In 2nd place, Gianna Pemberton tagged 710. And in 1st place, Dylan Back tagged 746. Now entering the ring for Class 8, Gracie Daniels tagged 762. Kayla McSweeney tagged 704. Dylan Back tagged 745. Elijah Clark tagged 773. Lauren Wells tagged 727. Rachel Hayes tagged 737. Judge, this is your class.
Deep set in this class, whether the leads off is really, really big topped and cool looking. That one's sound. That one gets stuck really well. The girl does a fantastic job of showing that one. He runs uphill. That one's got a lot of really good quality livestock traits, I think. This wether that comes in second, probably if you're looking for one that's the biggest bone and stoutest one, I think this one probably rings the bell for you. But, that one, he wants to get a little weak in his hip-loin junction, a little coarse about his shoulder, and probably, I like to lift him up a little bit in his breastplate, and maybe lower him a little bit in his flank compared to his overall body proportion. But still a really good one with a lot of quality. This wether that comes into third, really big topped and good looking, but probably not stout enough structure to move his way up. They're probably not put together as well as what these other wethers are in the class, but still one that has plenty of quality. This wether that wants to come in next, I like to drop his underline. That one doesn't balance up quite as well as what some of these others do, and he's not as big topped or as crisp loin as what some of these others are as well. We come down to these other two wethers, they probably just need a little bit more time. They need to harden up a little bit. They have a little more exercise, but still ones that have a lot of quality and will go to that rail and still have some product.
Now entering the ring for Class 9, Gracie Daniels, tag 763. Garrett Daniels, tag 758. Isabella Kearns, tag 768. Caleb Ritchie, tag 720, and Lauren Wells, tag 728. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 8. In 6th place, Caleb McSweeney. In 5th place, Lauren Wells. In 4th place, Rachel Hayes. In 3rd place, Elijah Clark. In 2nd place, Dylan Back. And in 1st place, Gracie Daniels.
Really good one to lead the class off with today. This one's got a lot of really good livestock quality traits. This one's sound. He's got muscle. He's put together well. He's long-bodied. There's not a lot of bad to say about that one. Definitely one that finds its way to the top of the class real quick for me today. This wether that comes out in second, wants to get a tick shorter body compared to our class winner and is not as extreme. I'd like to lift that one up a little bit in his hip and make that a little bit tick leveler. I'd like to see that one a little bit sounder off his back legs compared to our class winner, but still one that's got a lot of quality and is really good looking. Just like to stretch that one out a little bit and make him a little bit tucked up a little more in his breastplate. Still one that's got a lot of quality. This one that comes out in the third, when he's on the move, he levels out. Whenever he's stuck, he wants to get a little roached back. Whenever you go to handle him, he wants to get a little weak in that rack shape. But one that's still heavy structured and cool to look at on the move. I'd like to harden him up a little bit today and just make him have a little bit more tone. This wether that comes in next, really long-bodied, really follows our class winner in terms of that. But I like to see a tick more muscle and a tick more tone today. This wether that comes out next just needs to tone up a little bit and have a little more touch to him.
Now entering the ring for Class 10, Griffin Fuller, tag 736. Bailey Fuller, tag 734. Mary Back, tag 743. Rachel Hayes, tag 738. Jaden Goslin, tag 741. And Micah Madney, tag 748. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 9. In 5th place, Caleb Ritchie. In 4th place, Lauren Wells. In third place, Garrett Daniels. In second place, Gracie Daniels. And in first place, Isabella Kearns. All first and second class winners from Division III report to the holding area.
Really good looking one to lead the class off with. Maybe not the heaviest structure in the class, but still one that's probably got the best touch about him in terms of that loin edge and a turn coming out of that shoulder and into his rack. One that's definitely got a lot of quality. When that one gets stuck, he levels out and he looks really cool and he runs uphill. Definitely one that deserves that first place, I think. This weather that comes out in second wants to get a little deeper bodied, maybe disproportionate compared to our first place weather. I'd like to see him set a little better off those back legs in terms of his hock placement. But one that still, when he gets posted up, looks really cool. When he get him on the move there, he wants to sink his shoulders down low and appear a little coarser, but still one that has a lot of quality. This one that wants to come out in third is probably the heaviest structured weather of the class, but probably doesn't touch as well. That one's really big boned and wide based, but not enough muscle for me today to move him up in the class. This weather that comes next is cool looking, good to the touch, just not as massive as what his counterparts are. But still one that's definitely got a lot of quality and a big upper hip. These two weathers that come out next, I told these two young people out here they're getting pretty heavy and they're getting pretty soggy, and they need to harden up a little bit for today's class. But still ones that'll go and make these kids some money when they go to the locker plant.
Now entering the ring from Class 8, Gracie Daniels, tag 762. From Class 9, Isabella Kearns, tag 768. From Class 10, Mary Back, tag 743. Now entering the ring from Class 8, Dylan Back, tag 745. From Class 9, Gracie Daniels, tag 7. Gracie Daniels, tag 763. From Class 10, Rachel Hayes, tag 738.
Six really nice weathers out here. Give these kids a round of applause. You got from your heavyweights to the light heavyweights, these guys are pretty cool. There's two out here that I think definitely stand out. One in particular, which I talked pretty highly in class, I thought. Some of these goats don't want to show as well as what some of the other ones do, and sometimes you got to read through that. But there's one out here that definitely trips my trigger for today, and there's one that follows him pretty well. As we get down in our lower placings, that third through that 10th place, there's weathers that'll match up, and there's some others that won't. But in terms of just having some muscle and having some quality, I think they're all here. Definitely a really nice set of weathers, and I'll put this mic down here and go select the two that I think are the best.
Garrett Daniels, tag 758 to the ring. Elijah Clark, tag 773 to the ring. Rachel Hayes, tag 737 to the ring. Lauren Wells, tag 728 to the ring. Lauren Wells, tag 727 to the ring. Lauren Wells, tag 727 to the ring. Bailey Fuller, tag 734. Griffin Fuller, tag 736 to the ring. Division 3 results. In 10th place, Lauren Wells. In 9th place, Garrett Daniels. In 8th place, Rachel Hayes. In 7th place, Rachel Hayes. In 6th place, Mary Back. In 5th place, Elijah Clark. In 4th place, Gracie Daniels. In 3rd place, Dylan Back. In 2nd place, Gracie Daniels. And in 1st place, Isabella Kearns. The sponsors for the Market Goat Show are Robert Burcham and Family, Wade's Work and Western Wear, Fuller Show Goats, Ranch Hands 4-H Club, Scotttown Farmer and Farmerettes, AAA Heating and Cooling, Proctorville Hardware and Feed, Daniel Show Goats, and Starlight 4-H Club. Now entering the ring from Division 1, Gunnar Daniels, tag 757. From Division 2, Dylan Back, tag 746. From Division 3, Isabella Kearns, tag 768. Now entering the ring from the 1st Division, Kaylee Payne, tag 723. From the 2nd Division, Gianna Pemberton, tag 710. And from the 3rd Division, Gracie Daniels, tag 762.
Six real high-quality weathers out here. Everybody give these guys a round of applause. They've definitely worked with their projects. They all look phenomenal. I hope when you guys look out here and look at this Grand Drive lineup, you can kind of see what I want. I want these guys to run uphill. I want them to have some look to them. I want them to have some muscle. And I want them to wrap that all together in a package which I can appreciate. There's one weather out here that to me is kind of like bringing a gun to a knife fight. And, I talked about that one in class heavy. I use them in division. It's pretty hard to get past that one that wraps that much power into that kind of package. But there's more weathers out here, and all these weathers out here have, qualities that everybody can appreciate. Everybody's got some muscle. Everybody in this lineup runs uphill. And there's lots of quality in this lineup. But I'm going to go out here and pick, two goats that I think resemble each other the most, that are compositionally right for this county fair, and to me definitely trip my trigger. But I'll put this mic down here and I'll go out and shake those two young people's hands and keep selecting. Thank you.
The grand champion market goat is Isabella Kern. Dylan Back, tag 745 to the ring. Reserve champion is Gracie Daniels. Gracie Daniels, tag 763 to the ring. Third place is Dylan Back. Mary Back, tag 744 to the ring. Fourth place, Dylan Back. Gracie Daniels, tag 763 in the ring. Fifth place, Gracie Daniels. Mary Back, tag 743 to the ring. Garrett Daniels, tag 759 to the ring. Sixth place is Gianna Pemberton. Mary Back, tag 743 to the ring. Seventh place, Mary Back. Haley Literal, tag 750 to the ring. Eighth place, Garrett Daniels. Bailey Fuller, tag 733 to the ring. Grand champion born and bred is Mary Back. Reserve champion born and bred is Haley Literal. Final results: in 10th place, Elijah Clark; in 9th place, Haley Literal; in 8th place, Garrett Daniels; in 7th place, Mary Back; in 6th place, Gianna Pemberton; in 5th place, Gracie Daniels; in 4th place, Dylan Back; in 3rd place, Dylan Back. Reserve champion, Gracie Daniels. Grand champion, Isabella Kearns. Now entering the ring for Class 1, Dylan Back, Madison Harper, Garrett Daniels, Mackenzie Kleiber, and Rachel Hayes. Class 2 to the holding area. Judge, this is your class.
Put your hands together for a phenomenal set of showmen. This young man that leads off this showmanship is very confident in how he answers questions. He's really confident with that goat. He's got that goat's legs set up for the most part correctly all the time. He's always looking at me. He sees where I'm at. He just does a phenomenal job, and I'd like for him to show any of my goats any day of the week. He does a fantastic job, and it's not a quiz bowl, but he did show so much confidence in how he answered his questions that this guy just led his way up to the top of the class. And not saying it's not a flip of the coin between these two, because this young man in second is phenomenal too. He just wants to be a little bit more nervous around that goat. I don't think his goat works as well as with the team as with that first place young man's did. This goat is getting tired, getting a little uncooperative, and it comes down to his downfall today. But he did an excellent job in terms of answering his questions as well. I'd just like for him to slow down and be a little bit more confident. But he does a fantastic job showing this goat. Definitely a fantastic showman. Give this guy a round of applause. This young lady comes out in third, did a fantastic job today, but her goat just didn't want to cooperate as well when you get those guys out in the move. That's going to be her downfall today. But she did a fantastic job of getting that goat stuck, answering her questions. But just a fantastic showman as well. We move down to this young lady in this plaid pink shirt here, and she did a great job of setting this goat up and getting it led around the ring. But I'd just like to see her probably use a little shorter kind of lead, something that's closer to that head where she's not dragging that goat behind her whenever she's getting out there. I'd like to see her probably brace that goat a little quicker than what she was doing in the class, and that probably moved her down today. This young lady that comes here on the under in our last place definitely deserves some more competition, and she did a good job as well in terms of answering her questions and getting that goat set up. I'd just like to see her brace him a little quicker and get his feet placed a little quicker today.
Now entering the ring for Class 2, Allison Kleiber, Christian Gilbert, Daniel Moots, and Micah Matney. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 1. In 5th place, Madison Harper. In fourth place, Mackenzie Kleiber. In third place, Rachel Hayes. In second place, Dylan Back. And in first place, Garrett Daniels.
This young lady out here that has this fainting cross goat definitely did a good job of getting this goat set up in terms of her counterparts out here. But she did the best job of doing that. You know what I told all these kids is you guys need to learn how to brace. You guys have got to get these guys up on your leg, get that muscle popping, and give me a good look. Without that, you're going to get beat by one that's worse than you that's getting braced. Just because when I go to handle these goats, if they're up on that leg and they're getting braced, they have a much more phenomenal handle than what you're doing just sitting here. And you guys have got to get that taught or go to a camp or talk to somebody. Get your parents to help you. And just learn how to brace because it'll help you next year. But this young lady leads off the class, definitely answered her questions well, had lots of confidence, set this goat up square, definitely gave me the best look today. This young lady in second wanted to get that goat a little too stretched out sometimes, but she did get it set up. She did get those feet placed square. She gave me a pretty good look. Definitely had enough confidence for me today to come in that second place hole. This young man here with the paint, it probably knows the most about his goat out of anybody in here. But when it comes to setting this goat up, he didn't set those legs correctly. Didn't really give me a really good look. I'd like to see this young man come back out here next year maybe and get this goat braced and maybe set those feet up a little quicker and give me a better look. But definitely knows what he's doing, knows what he's feeding his goat. Definitely did a nice job in terms of that. This young man that comes out here next just needs to get those feet set up, a little quicker, a little more correctly. Maybe get to bracing that goat, but definitely did a fine job of answering questions and having confidence. I'd just like to see him, get those feet at least somewhat set up. But a nice set of young showmen out here.
Now entering the ring for Class 3, Elijah Clark, Gracie Daniels, Jaden Goslin, Kayla McSweeney, and Lauren Wells. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 2. In fourth place, Christian Gilbert. In third place, Daniel Moots. In second place, Micah Matney. And in first place, Allison Kleiber.
Young lady leads out this showmanship class, had a lot of confidence, gets this goat set up, braced hard. The goat always looks the part when I'm looking at it. He may want to get a little out there in terms of his attitude right now, but that young lady works right through that and still makes that goat look good. And that matters a lot to me. This young man that comes in second here is a team with this girl with a broken collarbone, and I wish that, that maybe they had a little more communication. If you're gonna work together like that, let's talk to each other. Let's set each other's legs. Let's try and do that. And communication is gonna beat them today. She does know about her goat. She does have confidence. I just wish she was a little more involved with the person that was showing her goat. This young man that comes out in the third place hole here did a nice job of getting that goat set up. But his eye contact was pretty off. He didn't really hear me when I was telling him to do some things. I just wish he paid a little more attention to me. That plays back to that eye contact factor. This young man comes out here next. He got this goat braced as well as he could, and I admire that. And he also has some confidence in answering his questions. I just wish this young man could get this goat set up a little quicker and a little more. It'll have a little bit more finesse about it, I guess, in terms of getting down there and setting those legs up and getting that goat braced. But he did an awful nice job of answering questions and being confident. This young lady with the red goat that comes out next. She did a nice job of getting that goat set up nice and square, but this isn't a breeding goat show. This is a weather show. This goat needs to be braced. I need to see that muscle popping. She did a nice job of answering her questions, but I just wish she could brace that goat a little better.
Now entering the ring from Class 1, Garrett Daniels. From Class 2, Allison Kleiber. And from Class 3, Gracie Daniels. Junior Class 1 to the holding area.
When you get these kids out here and you get them showing, there's one kid out here that I think comes to the top real quick for me. And, I told him some things about how he was handling his goat in that class. And, he definitely corrected himself. I remember his confidence from that class. Did a phenomenal job. It's going to be this young man here in the plaid. It's going to be your grand champion showman. And since we don't bring in seconds, this young lady here that is closest to me now with the lightheaded weather definitely did a phenomenal job getting this thing shown and working through that goat having an attitude problem. Definitely answered her questions very well, and she's going to be our reserve champion showman today.
Your senior showman is Garrett Daniels. Now entering the ring for Class 1, Caleb Ritchie, Griffin Fuller, Haley Littoral, Evan Clark, Gianna Pemberton, Kaylee Payne, Mary Back, Peyton Hill, and Sophie Moose. Judge, this is your class. Class 2 to the holding area.
Young lady in the dark shirt with the paint weather is going to be your champion showman out of this class, and this young lady with the paint dough will be your reserve champion showman. When it came down to these two, this young lady in the dark shirt always had her goat set up and was always looking at me for the most part. I don't like how she hikes that goat up way on her leg, but at least she had it bracing. This young lady that came in second did a good job of getting that goat braced at first, and she was really trying, and she kind of gave up on me. And I wish she would have tried throughout that whole class. This young man comes out next. Did a nice job of getting that goat braced all the time, but maybe he wasn't paying enough attention to me, and he needs to be a little more confident. He comes out here and he doesn't have the kind of posture that I want to see in a showman, and he just needs to exuberate that confidence to me and pay attention to me more. But he did a nice job of getting that goat set up. This young lady comes out next with this spot back goat. She did a nice job of getting that goat braced, getting it set up, but she just needs to pay a little more attention to me and maybe have a little more confidence in answering those questions. This young man comes out next, did a nice job of getting that goat let out and everything, but whenever he wants to change his leads, he wants to do them behind his back. That throws that goat all the way off. Young lady that comes out here next in the orange did a nice job of getting everything set up, but she wasn't bracing all the time. Probably didn't have that goat looking the best compared to her counterparts. And we get down to these other kids here. They did a really nice job answering their questions. They had some confidence. Just want to see those goats get braced. Want to see them, I'm going to try throughout the whole class. This young man here in the back, definitely, I switched sides like 4 times, trying to get him to realize where I was at, and once he hopped over the thing. But that's okay. And I wanted him to try throughout that whole class. That's why I turned back here and I said, keep trying. Because if he would have kept trying, I would have pulled him back out, and he would have been competing against those two girls.
Now entering the ring for Class 2, Kara Wilson, Lacey McSweeney, Olivia Bowman, Hunter Clark, Isabella Kearns, and Kirsten Dunn. Judge, this is your class. Class 3 to the holding area. Results from Class 1. In 10th place, Evan Clark. In 9th place, Peyton Hill. In 8th place, Hayden Bowman. In 7th place, Gianna Pemberton. In 6th place, Sophie Moots. In 5th place, Caleb Ritchie. In 4th place, Kaylee Payne. In 3rd place, Griffin Fuller. In 2nd place, Mary Back. And in 1st place, Haley Literal.
Little girls got a cheering section, and I'm going to talk about that in this class. Is that I talked to a lot of these kids about getting out and learning how to brace, and I told them those two young men that were in that senior class that I spent so much time on that really knew what they were doing. Like talk to your parents or parents. Go to those two young men and be like, hey, we want to learn how to do this. We want to learn how to brace. I'm sure those families would like to share their knowledge, but. Like I talked to a lot of these classes, like these kids need to learn how to brace. They need to get these things set right. And, like this young lady here in the first place hole has a cheering section, and I'm sure her parents and everybody around her supports her. And they get out there and they might go to camps, or they might learn from everybody else around them. And that's really important. Look at your peers in terms of these classes. Come and watch these showmanship classes. Let's learn how to do this a little bit better. But everybody in here had confidence in answering their questions. They set their feet up as best they could, and these juniors still have a long way to go. But they did do a great job for their age. This young lady leads out this class. She always has this thing set up to the best of her ability, and she answered her questions very well. She knew what her goat was eating. She knows what's going on with that goat every day. And that's a big, important part of this. But she came to the top pretty quick for me today, and she definitely showed that goat off and got me to look at it. This young man that comes in a second, might have forgot to brace once or twice, not have everything set right sometimes, but still did a nice job of getting that goat set when he could and trying. Definitely had a lot of confidence in answering his questions. This young lady that comes out in third did a great job of talking to me. Just wish she knew how to brace, and I wish that she could get in front of that goat and really show it off for me. This young lady that comes in next, the same thing. She did a great job answering her questions. Just wish she could get those feet set. Just wish that she'd get that goat braced. But still did a great job talking to me. This young lady comes out next with this spot back weather. I talked to her about bracing and getting this thing set up, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox here, but that weather is really nice, but I had to go and find him in class. And if she would have maybe had a little bit more showmanship skills in terms of bracing, in terms of getting in front of that thing, I might have found it a little quicker. This young lady that comes out next, she just needs some more confidence today, but did a nice job of setting that goat up.
Now entering the ring for Class 3, Bailey Fuller, Gunnar Daniels, George Butler, Dean Clark, Hunter Kearns, and China Leffingwell. Judge, this is your class. Results from Class 2. In 5th place, Kara Wilson. In 4th place, Olivia Bowman. In 3rd place, Kirsten Dome. In 2nd place, Hunter Clark. And in 1st place, Isabella Kearns.
Young man that leads off this junior class really did a great job of getting this thing set up. He always looked at me. He knew what he was doing. He had a lot of stuff going on, and I've watched him all day, a show all day, and he's done a phenomenal job all day. And that goat's getting a little bit tired, and I understand that. But he did a great job of getting that goat set up, getting him braced, and getting him going. But that's definitely a great showman right there. This young man coming in second, that's actually got his goat pointing the opposite. Well, some of them all have the opposite directions, I guess. But this young man here with the paint weather did a great job of getting this thing set up, getting him having a good look. I just wish he could brace him a little bit harder, maybe have a little bit more confidence in answering his questions. This young man that comes out in third did a great job of working through this goat acting bad. I just wish he could show himself off a little bit better today. When I was watching him earlier today, he did a great job of getting that thing set up. I just wish that goat wasn't as tired or acting as bad as what he is right now. This young lady with the bow in her hair that comes out next had a lot of confidence in answering her questions, and it really set that goat up well. But I just wish she could brace it a little bit harder, get into it a little bit more. But these other young kids out here just need to have a little bit more confidence today. But definitely a nice set of junior showmen.
Now entering the ring from Class 1, Haley Literal. From Class 2, Isabel Kearns. And from Class 3, Gunnar Daniels.
Three really nice junior showmen out here. Put your hands together for this set of showmen. There's one out here that I think does a phenomenal job for me in terms of always having that goat set up, always being calm. And the best thing about showmanship is you don't have to have the best goat to win. But there's one kid out here that does just a great job of presenting confidence, getting that goat set up, and always looking at me and giving the best look that goat can. And that's going to be this young man out here in first. He's going to be our champion showman. As we come down to the reserve showman, there's a young lady out here that I think does the best job of keeping that goat braced and always on the ground and giving me a good look. She's always got it set up for the most part. These goats are getting tired, but she still does a good job of working through that. And that's going to be this young lady straight here in front of me in this orange and purple plaid shirt.
Your junior showman is Gunnar Daniels.